All right. Hello. Hey guys, why am I getting that feedback? Maybe I'll turn off this mic. What about now? No, I'm still getting feedback up there. Okay. Nope. Well, we'll start anyway. So you might get to hear my voice a couple times here. So what we're doing here, besides just doing the presentation in front of you, is we're also broadcasting it on the internet, and it will be recorded. So you can come back and see it later and hear me again twice or 3 times in a row. It'll be lovely. You can just hear me over and over again. It seems like the cameras are going to go in and out just a little bit, but that's okay, because what's going to happen is I'm going to switch over on this one to the PowerPoint to see online, and then later on, as we move along, we'll move to kind of a live demo where I'll show you on my phone with the camera. My microphone is the only one, hopefully, that's going to get picked up, and the people are only hearing me. So if you have questions, what I'm going to do is I'm going to repeat them so that people online can hear them, but don't worry, you're not being seen. So you think. Okay, so let me move over to here. Okay. Great. Okay, so now everybody's seeing this, and they're going to hear me talking over the PowerPoint. They may also see us or see me down in the corner there, although we've been having some weird technical issues with this. So as we go along, please just bear in mind that this is our first jump into this. It may work wonderfully. It may be the Hindenburg. We really don't know. But those of you that are here live will get the direct interaction. So that's what we're talking about today is messaging services for your kids. So your kids actually use a ton of different messaging services. We're going to go over a few of them, kind of in broad strokes, talk to you about what we know about what kids like to do on these messaging services, and then go in depth onto Snapchat. I know that's something that we're all very interested in. We'll talk about exactly how to use Snapchat, and we'll have a full demo where you actually can talk to one another using Snapchat, and you won't actually have to speak. It'll be great. We'll just be able to show various strange things, okay? We have our email addresses down there. Sean and I want to talk to us afterwards. You're more than welcome to contact us. We would love to help out. We have a lot of these discussions with parents quite regularly. Yeah, so please do get in contact with us. Self, in case they don't know you.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm doing a little disclaimer as well. I'm Sean, school counselor. If you want to have any questions about the technical aspect, don't come to me. If you have any concerns about the emotional or issues that are happening, particular issues that your child might be dealing with, or a friend of your child might be dealing with, then that's my role, that's my job. You know, if there's anything going on at school involving me, like that, some other social media, then please let us know, because we are really, really taking very seriously and trying to get advice as we can. Obviously, we've brought in iPads into primary school, we've brought MacBooks into the secondary school, and we are aware that these things are fantastically positive. Issues that come up with them as well. So we're trying really hard. We will not get everything perfect, and it will not be 100% right from the start. But obviously, we need support from parents. If we don't know conversations just happening that shouldn't be, or things are going on, then we have no way of addressing it. It's more about being a team, staying with school and home together. So that's really the side that I'm working very hard on, and Matt's supporting me. But the technical side is very much him. So, yeah, thank you.
Great, okay. You can hear the tech guys up there? Yeah. Hey guys, we can hear you talking up there, and we're recording you, so other people can hear you talking too. That didn't stop him. Okay, so let's jump right into it. So just as a little bit of review for the workshop itself, we are going to review common messaging apps. So if there are some on here that we have not covered, I tried to get a pretty broad spectrum of messaging apps that are ones you're going to find with the kids. But if there are ones that are not here, we can kind of talk about them as well. And then we're going to do a live demo of Snapchat. We are going to discuss some of the parenting implications of the messaging, and we're actually going to do number 3 before number 2. Can you ask him to stop talking? Thank you. Appreciate it. We need the control man talking. We can all hear him very loudly. Thank you. Okay. Anyway, so that'll be the range of things that we're going to talk about. As we go along, though, a lot of you are going to have questions, so please don't just let me talk. Ask questions, ask for clarification. There were some questions in advance, and so I've tried to put some of those in here, but we're probably going to miss a few of them. So as we do, please follow along. Okay? All right. I've talked about this already. The recording will be made available online afterwards. And this is our first attempt, so this could just not go very well at all. I mean, the technical guy might be talking the whole time. Who knows? But again, this is a learning session to figure this out together. I am not an expert in a few of these messaging services, including Snapchat, so hopefully we can learn about all this together. So please do be involved with the conversation. We'll get a lot more out of it. Okay? Okay, and one last reminder. If you have not downloaded Snapchat and registered, you do need to be registered, not just have it on your phones, because we are going to be asking you to talk to each other, okay? Maybe not at the degree that you want, you're worried your kids are doing, but we are going to have you speak to each other, showing pictures. So you have to have it installed and registered now. Do that while I'm talking, okay? Okay, so let's just jump into a lot of the messaging services that we see from kids. And so in preparation for this session, we did a lot of research. We actually went out and talked to kids here on campus. I talked to kids back in the US. I talked to some kids at my old school about what are the messaging services they use. And one of the things that we found very interesting is that it's different no matter where you go. A geographic difference based on a geographic difference that influences what the kids really want to use. Now, Snapchat's a really interesting one, which we're going to talk about quite a bit in depth today. Common apps that we find for chatting around the world, specifically related to like international students. Okay? So if you're not familiar with all of these, or any of these for that matter, I would suggest that you at least download them, try them out, give them a go, the ones with the pictures. The ones over on the listed are just to show you how many apps there are. And if you go out and you start doing searches or you ask people, there are so many specific applications for messaging, it's just ridiculous. But these up here, these 9 that I've listed are actually the most common, the ones that we find most with students. All right? So let me just go through them a little bit and talk about some of the specifics related to each of the apps just so you feel comfortable with them. A lot of this is going to be redundant for you because you use a lot of these apps, but there are some little specific things that the kids do. You use them. To my surprise, the #1 app for most students was actually Skype. Around the world, it was Skype. And it wasn't the video chatting part. So, you know, I use Skype quite a bit to chat with my parents back home, to have my kids speak to their grandparents. In fact, my children don't know how a regular phone works. Video on it, right? But that's not true with the kids. The kids were using Skype for chatting quite a bit. The chat function on Skype is something that they felt that everybody had. Not everybody has Google, not everybody has WhatsApp. Some kids even avoid Facebook. So Skype was the most common one for connecting with people directly. But what they found is that almost all of them have it on their phones. Chat with your kids, make sure that you have Skype open, make sure it's sending you notifications, and actually chat with the kids on Skype. We found that they don't actually use the video that much. In fact, in general, video calling was not very popular, especially in Asia, but in other parts of the world, it can be. #2 is Facebook Messenger. Messenger, if you don't know, is one that you can use in a number of ways beyond just the chatting and the video. It doesn't always have to be in the browser. It doesn't always have to be in the phone. There's a lot of ways to connect to it, and now they've just added a live video feature. So not just chatting with somebody, you can live broadcast yourself doing something, and the kids are starting to play with this because what we're finding is that the messaging services are not just about discussion. It's about encapsulating your life or having kind of like a wall or set of memories. They're moving away from Facebook themselves in other ways, more direct to the people that they want to talk to. So they're not posting things on Facebook as much, but they're using themselves. Okay. We found that at this school, Messenger is probably the most popular one. So for your students, for your kids, Messenger is one that you should become very familiar with. This program called WhatsApp, is that one that has, it's one that it's maybe you run into once or twice. Obviously, I don't need to on that. North America. They said, yeah, I downloaded it, but I never used it. Yeah, if you go, and it was, everything was on WhatsApp. And here, as you know, everything is on WhatsApp. It really depends on where you are in the world. And here in Indonesia, it's really interesting. I was talking with some local kids. They said, yeah, WhatsApp's great if you're talking to adults. They don't use it to talk to each other, okay? You all know how to use WhatsApp. I'm not going to go in a lot of depth on that. The kids here at this school do it out of just kind of a cultural push to use WhatsApp, but it's not a very popular one for them. Okay? They really prefer to use Skype or Messenger when they're talking to their friends. And the reason that Skype is so popular is because Skype connects them with anybody in the world very easily, and it doesn't matter about the device. You know, WhatsApp requires that you have a phone. You can connect it to your computer, but it's just one more step, and a lot of people want to do that. And again, they are associating with their parents. So just bear that one in mind. Google Hangouts is an interesting one. If you go to North America, if you go to the United States, Google Hangouts is incredibly popular. It's popular with kids, it's popular with adults, it's a business application. A lot of people use it. We don't use it a ton here in Asia. I think mostly because of the latency problem. It's good to connect to your computer while you're doing other things in email in real time, kind of all of your productivity together, but slow here in Asia, so I don't think people use it very much, except for the kids at our school. The reason I put it on here is because the kids at our school actually use this one quite a bit. This one came up quite often, especially in the younger grades. So our primary students that have their iPads, this is their primary means of communicating with each other because it's right there, it's immediate, and it works generally the same, right? I mean, it's got the video chatting, it's got pictures, it's got text chatting, and it will work on any device. It's very popular that way. We're going to go in depth on Snapchat in a moment, but one thing I want to tell you is that Snapchat is not for discussion. I found very interesting. It is about broadcasting yourself to other people. It's not about having chats or long discussions. It's really like, this is what I've done for my day. I don't need to have it live on the internet. It's just sitting here. Here, I'll share that with you. Or I'll share a moment with you, but I'm not really going to have a discussion with you. It's not about connecting for homework or connecting for long talks. It's about, let me share one element of my life in this space and time, and then we'll move on to something else. Okay. SMS, yeah. This is really one that we find a lot in Europe. They seem to love to SMS quite a bit. Apple Messenger messages, whatever it's called, seems to work out quite well. What we're finding is that students, especially here, just don't use it. They don't like it because the saturation of an Apple phone is not very high. And the SMSing, they're like, well, if I'm going to SMS, why don't I just use something else? Other parts of Asia, what we find is that SMS is almost completely gone. We don't use it at all. But if you go to North America, if you go to Europe, if you go to South America, it's a primary means of communication. So something just to make sure that you understand it's part of the real deal. FaceTime. FaceTime communications here in Asia, especially at the school, but if you go to North America, if you go to Europe, FaceTime is very popular. Primary means of direct voice communication or video communication for most kids. If they want to call somebody, they just jump on FaceTime. A lot of adults, the same thing, and it even is a business application. The FaceTime, because it is more reliable than Skype, seems to be a lot more popular. And then this one has been very interesting because I've been reading about this one quite a bit, and then in talking with kids not at this school per se, but at other schools, they're saying that Instagram for chatting, not just for putting up pictures, but Instagram for chatting is actually becoming very popular, which is really interesting because the communication tool within Instagram is really rudimentary. It's hard to find. It doesn't do much, but it is, I don't know, maybe there's just something subversive about hiding it behind a bunch of pictures. The kids are using this to talk to each other quite a bit yet, but it will. So if you're not on Instagram, if you don't have it, even if you don't want to post, you might want to get an account and then just try out the communication feature. And then, of course, there's the most popular one in the entire world that I'm sure all of you are on, and that's WeChat. Have heard of WeChat? Oh, look at that. So in China, they have almost none of these. Messenger won't work. Google Hangouts won't work. I was there a couple weeks ago. They didn't know anything about WhatsApp. Skype is something that they use every once in a while. They use WeChat. And WeChat combines Google Hangouts, Skype, WhatsApp, and even elements of Snapchat, and it has a voice feature, like a voice-to-talk feature. The Chinese live and die on WeChat. $1 million deals are made every minute on WeChat in China, and they don't use the rest. Now, granted, that doesn't hit our kids here very much because we are not in China. I think there are more people on WeChat than there are on Facebook. So just as you know, if you decide to move to China or if it decides to go outside of China, WeChat will be something that is going to be very, very large. And then, so those are kind of the ones that you should focus on most. And then, of course, there are a million others. Telegram is one that's popping up quite a bit. Viber is one that we hear about a little bit. Yahoo and AOL Instant Messenger are ones that have been around for a while. PlayStation chat. Like on your PlayStation, that's one that's been kicking on quite a bit. And then all the other ones that I'm not even going to go through. So as you're talking with your kids and you're trying to figure out a little bit more about the messaging, ask them which services they're on. Ask them about their phones, like what are they doing on their, what are the things that they're using to talk to each other, and then take a look at them and play with them. A lot of them have very similar interfaces and very similar functionality. They do things very much the same, where there's some weird emoji that'll fly around, you know, there's some sort of somebody giving a thumbs up, but the platform they use will be different. So take a look at them, play with them. The one that doesn't really fit this mold, we'll talk about in depth today. Okay? Any questions about these? Anything that you're finding most about what your kids are using at home? No? Okay. Okay. So why don't I pass it over to Sean? Sean's going to talk for a minute. For those of you online, assuming that you can actually hear me, I'm going to repeat some of the things that she said because she's not on the microphone. Okay, so Sean's going to take for a little while. She just wants to make sure you know that these apps are not a negative, they're actually positive. But we do need to be very consistent in how we approach this with the students. We need them to understand that technology has both dangers and potential for good things. It's important for parents to be informed on how to use these devices, applications, and be involved with their students. If there is an issue, they can, you can be involved as parents with repairing them from a point. Something to bear in mind is that these types of media or programs, there's always going to be some bad publicity and some bad stories. Yes, those can happen, but it's not something that we run into in great depth here at a majority of our students. Students will run into problems, as they will with any program, social social interaction. We do have that as a problem everywhere, and it's a problem here at BSJ. One of the challenges of cyberbullying is that because it's online, it's much more anonymous. Whereas with older style bullying, we knew pretty quickly, we could see the actions, we could see the effects immediately. But with cyberbullying, students that would regularly be very reserved or emboldened by being online and having the anonymity of being online. As a counselor, we have to keep an eye on all students. Quiet ones, the loud ones, educated on that actions have consequences. Just doesn't mean that it's less impactful as saying something live. Social media, though, can be dangerous, is very positive, and it's part of their growth. And what we're finding is that instant messaging, even though it's a different animal, is the reality for our kids. We have to be prepared for it. There's a reality that our students are advanced because they've been up in this world having technology. Though many of us use these messaging apps or social media quite a bit, we are still immigrants to that space. Our students, though, don't know anything else. So no matter what, they're going to be more versed in these things than we are, but it just means that we have to be more conscious about what we're doing and getting involved. Sean's telling a story of seeing a post on Facebook, ironically, of a going to allow her kids to be on the internet, on Google, or on Facebook at all, because it's not safe. That's not the reality. You know? I'm trying to talk so that the people online can hear. Time outside is important. An important part of growing up, but we have to prepare students for the world that they're going to be living in. And so they're going to need to spend time on social media because there you are and your peers are. So they need to know how to do it safely and effectively. Why do they need to stay connected? There's a real part of being an adolescent and sharing yourself online. It's part of growing up, part of communicating. One of the issues that we have as a counseling team is that it's harder to step away from things because it's on the internet. It's with them 24 hours a day. They can't just go home and close the door and wait a problem until the next day. It's with them the whole time. create safe spaces for kids because they can't escape them. So they need to have a place where they can freely help them. One of the key things for kids these days is to focus on sleep because of all the social media interactivity, the amount of homework, they need to be connected to other people. The amount of sleep that they're getting is very low, and that's dangerous for kids at this age because developmentally they need to have a lot of sleep. Even our highest achievers are only getting 4 or 5 hours of sleep a night, and that's just not sufficient for them for success in the long term. The school is very supportive of parents having students take a break so that they're not spending all their time on the computer, especially late at night, because sleep and rest and taking a break is very important for physical health. It may be important for families to set them ground rules where they find ways to remove the devices and put them away and not make it punitive, but just make it a family exercise, a family rule that taking a break and moving away from the devices is an important part of the day. Boys in particular need sleep. It's very, very important for their development. Sexting, grooming, and pressure are something that should be focused on. We're not going to go a lot in depth on it today, but it's important to read up online and ask questions if you have them. Make sure that anybody that students are talking to have them understand a few important questions about them, like how do you know this person is real? Have you ever met them before? Have you ever met them in person? Just because they're online and they're being nice to you doesn't mean that there's somebody that you can trust or that you know. So she's telling a story about a younger student posting something online and having stuff liked by somebody that might have been in his 40s or 30s or 40s. Is that appropriate? What does that mean in terms of this person's connection to the child? Something to keep an eye on and something to educate the students on, the children on, how to protect themselves, how to make sure that they're not sharing too much online. Sean's talking about using social media, using Minecraft, and talking to each other, but saying really not one another because it's so easy because there's a perceived enmity. Students find it a lot easier to say horrible things than they normally. A lot about trolling is getting reaction and saying things right in the moment. But the problem is that there's a longevity to that. There's not things that we would normally say to people in real life. It's dangerous. Having that discussion about not trolling or how to deal with it if you are trolled, very, very important. It's important to know people that do the trolling and the people that are getting affected by the trolling. Sean is trying to reiterate that even though she talked about the negative elements of this, there are many, many positives. It's just that as a counselor, she gets a lot of the trouble cases, and it's important for people to understand it and to know that that the negative pieces are there and that there are ways to handle them and deal with them. If parents are involved in the discussion, if they're able to talk about from an informed perspective about what their kids are doing in terms of online usage, the connection will be stronger and the ability to parent in that space will be much more effective. But if you see an app on your child's phone, she was giving an example of one called Whisper. Or to ask questions, but have some questions ready to say, why is this on there? Who are you talking to? What do you do? Just have the discussion with your kids. You're involved and you understand that it's not a place for them to hide, it's a place for them to share with you what they're doing and that you're interested.
And that's going to be the positive.
Okay, we're going to move on to Snapchat. We're gonna demo it. I'm going to set this up here shortly. Please make sure you have your phones. Make sure that you have connected with somebody near you or in the room. Okay, because we want you to try it out. This is going to be very much a shared demonstration. We're going to do these things together. So make sure that you can talk to somebody. That's going to be a very important part of this. So I'm going to start setting this up while you guys do that. Okay. And then what I'm going to do, no longer going to be broadcasting the, we're no longer going to be broadcasting this. We are now going to be broadcasting this. Okay. So we're going to see how the lag goes. If it gets too bad, I'll switch so that you can see a little bit better online. How do you connect to people? Oh, all sorts of good questions. Good. Why don't we go over that together? If you don't have anybody to connect to, I'll show you how to do that here real quickly. Okay. Good. If you have somebody around you who can show you, that's good too. Talk about that when we get onto the actual app itself. Okay. Okay. So for those of you online, everybody is playing with their Snapchats right now, which is what we want. Okay, and I'm getting the camera ready here so we can see my phone. Okay. Oh, look how pretty that is. Okay. My disclaimer as I start this is that you're getting access to my phone. going to wake up any point now, and she may send something. My hockey team is playing, so hopefully those alerts don't come in because they were leading the last little while ago. There's a potential that I get about 50 emails while we're sitting here, but so in fact there were several right there. You don't need to know my password. You don't need to see my email. Okay, so let me show you what this is. Okay. Okay. Lighting isn't great. So because the lighting's not great, I'm going to switch the input. So everybody online can see that. You guys will get a little bit of a better view. Okay. At some point. There we go. Okay. Okay. App that I didn't mention that I use quite a bit actually is not only Skype, but there's a Skype for Business. So I use Skype for Business quite a bit. Okay. But I'm going to start up my Snapchat. Okay. So there's Snapchat. And you notice it starts immediately with a picture because the idea with Snapchat is that you're sharing moments, texting. So they really want you to send pictures. And when you send your pictures, you can send them, I'm doing this just so it doesn't hide on me. When you're sending your pictures, you can send them to individual people, or you can send them to a group of people. Okay, so let's talk about the question you had before, and that is how do I add people? How do I add friends? Well, you'll see over here that I've got a few. This way, you'll see that I can also add any number of other professional news or other outlets. I can follow them. You have those options left to right, but if you click on the little guy right up here on the top where my thumb is, click on the ghost, you'll see that there are options here for you. Unfortunately, it's not in great focus here, but you can see who's added me. You can add friends. So let's click on the add friends. Okay, and you're following along as you're doing this, so it makes sense. You can add by username. Sorry, the color isn't very good here. So on the top here, it says add by username. So if you know somebody's username, you can add them. Okay. Okay. Oh, so what? Okay. Good. Good question. So from this page, friends. It's the one right in the middle. Okay. Add friends, and you can add by username. You can add by address book. So if there's somebody in your contacts list you want to add. Add by snap code. Okay, oops. You can send them a code. It puts your face on a code. You can share your username, or the fun one is add nearby. So if you click add nearby, you'll see all the other people within a radius that are willing to add. Now, none of you are willing to add. Oh, there we go. There's one. 73. I don't know who that is, so I'm going to add you because we're all friends. Oh, hi, Lucy. Good to see you. I'll add you as well. Okay, so, okay, still searching, okay, so those are adding, but you're going to notice something that's only one direction. When you add somebody, that doesn't automatically make them your friend. Model than others. So like with Twitter, I want, and I can see them and I can see what they're posting. With Messenger, I can usually chat with any of my friends. Just about anybody. With only add people, you can only make a real connection if they have. So you notice if I go back to this page, so we were here. If I go back to this page, there is the little thing that says added me. And you'll see the people that have added you, and then you can add them back to kind of complete that connection. So the people that I just added may decide that I never want to talk to Matt Harris again, which is not be a connection between us. We can't share things together. We can't send. A big part about Snapchat is making sure that that you and the other person really want to connect. This isn't just about sending broadcasts out to the rest of the world. Instagram is I put information about myself. Anybody can see it. It's why the Kardashians are so rich at this point. But Snapchat's not about that. It's about having a social real time with that social circle. So you have to add. So I've got 3 people that have added me. So I'll click on that, and I've got. Oh, look. Okay. So E73 added me. My friend Wayne Burnett added me, and then this very strange person, Panta, who added me. I don't know who that is. Maybe we'll talk to that person, see how that works, okay? So there are a number of methods to adding people. This is for being able to use Snapchat. Connections, and making sure that it's a mutually desired connection. Because if you're going to send random stupid pictures with writing on it, you want to make sure that your friend wants to receive it. If they don't want to receive it, then you put it on Twitter. Okay, so now we've done that. If you click down here at the bottom, you'll see My Friends. And these are all the people that you have actually connected with. Okay? Okay? So I don't know if you noticed, this one's going crazy. That's my friend Carrie. Carrie's in the United States. Carrie has changed her avatar to go crazy. There are many things that you can do to personalize the system. Okay? So I have a few here. And you'll notice that who hasn't changed her name, but that's okay, has a little smiley face. So I think we're in the middle of a conversation there. So we'll go and I'll go have a conversation with that person in just a moment. Okay? Me and I've connected with them. Okay? Apologies for the white, it doesn't seem to work. You'll notice on the top here, there's also this contacts thing. So if I click on the contacts at the top, and just tell me if I'm going a little too fast here. If I click on contact, here's a whole bunch of people that are on Snapchat, but I haven't screen. There's a board member at my old school. I won't be connecting with that person. There's somebody that has tried to sell me things. We're not gonna connect with them. And there's a student on here. I don't know why there's a student on here. Okay. So people all have Snapchat. You just you can choose whether or not to connect with them. Okay. So we're not directly connected. I can't add them and go, okay, here's a picture of a bunch of parents at my school on Snapchat. They would have to add me back. So it's a mutually agreed upon connection. So let's go back, and you'll see down here at the bottom, there's a little arrow. I'm gonna flick that back up, and now we're back to the camera. Okay? All right? You'll see down in the bottom left, it's a little mirrored right now, we don't know why. In the bottom left, there's a 2. That means that I have 2 open snaps, 2 active snaps. And that's the terminology here. They're not messages, they're not chats, they're snaps. And the reason they call that is because the expectation is they go away. So you take the picture, you share it, and then it goes away, right? That's one of the Snapchat. There's both a positive and a negative, that when you do a snap and you send it to somebody, it only stays for as long as it's on the screen. So if I send a picture of myself to somebody, if I try and come back and see it, it's gone. Okay, so let's go see what snaps I have right now. There should be 2 here. Okay, so my friend Leslie, we're going to talk about her in just a minute. This Pantai2622 is actually Sean. Okay, so it says tap to view, and it was sent 56 minutes ago. So it'll only stay there. Yes. So I'm going to click on it. Lovely picture of a screen that's totally black. Oh, there it is. And there's good luck, Matt. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, and then it's gone. Okay, now it's gone. So now let's talk about a little bit of etiquette and whether you can or cannot. The program is designed for you not to save it. And so there is no direct way for you to save an image, to save. It's not built in. And this is where we try and caution a screenshot. You can take a screenshot. So just because they're posting things on Snapchat doesn't mean that it goes away forever. There. Now, Snapchat's been very smart about this. So this is we're gonna go in circles here for just a minute. So just follow along. Good. She's got it. That's the best snap that I've heard today. That's excellent. That's good. like dance party here. Good. Can you just flip on the little on your iPhone, the little switch on the side so it doesn't make noise? Okay. So here's the deal. It's intended so that the snaps don't stay and you don't save them, right? So you're not supposed to have a continuous conversation. It's supposed to go away. So that's one side. Let's talk about the other side. It is going on the internet, so there's a copy of it made somewhere. If you believe that Snap itself, you're crazy. The other thing is, as a user, I can take a screenshot of it. So if students put up something inappropriate, whatever, somebody could take a screenshot. Okay, so now let's go back to the other side. But Snapchat gives you a notification if someone's taken a screenshot of your Snap. But one of the real values of Snapchat is that there's all the add-ons. You can have like switch pieces, watch Barack Obama did his White House correspondence thing, and on the video you got this crazy demon thing going on. That's an add-on to Snapchat that allows you to screenshot without the other person being told. Okay, so the answer is, can you save it? Yes, it's a little bit of work. What I would say is don't trust anything that is put onto your phone as really going away. Only going to be there in some way, shape, or form. Okay, so if I go back here, I can't get back to it. It's gone. I've seen it. It's gone. So, and it works that way. Shortly thereafter, it will go away. Where is my chat? Okay, so I can chat with her too. So not only pictures, but I can chat. I can say, "Hi, Sean." Okay. And now you can't write on. Maybe if I moved away a little bit. Okay. And now she's typing to me, and it says, "Hi, Matt." We have now chatted. If I go away, okay. So I'll show you that again. If I come back now. Within my Snap, I pulled her name. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm pulling her name to the right. You would receive this okay there. Snap. You may be able to replay the last one, but notice, okay. So now let's thank you. So now let's actually go. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to click on the camera here. Let's actually send a snap. Okay? Snap. So what I'm going to do here, just so, because you guys can see me, I'm going to take a picture. Here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a picture just by pressing circle. Okay? Actually, let's make this a lot more fun. Let's do that one. Ugh. Okay? So now we're going to take a picture. And I have a few options here. I can write on it with text. I can write on it with handwriting. Okay, extent of my ability to write on a computer. So you can write on it, and then what I can do here, I can choose how long it stays on here. We'll do this a few times. We're going to play with it. So if you missed this, it's okay. So I'm going to have it stay on 5 seconds. And now I'm going to send it. I'm going to choose who I'm going to send it to. My brand new friend, Eva BB, is going to get it because she really wants it. I'm going to get it. Okay, so I chose a couple people. And then I'm going to send the snap. So now it shows up here that they are receiving my snap. Okay, so if they've seen it, now they have my, okay, so now they've got it. And look, there they are. They both got it. It was on for 5 seconds, and now it's gone. And so now the arrows have changed, which means they've received it, and it's gone. So here's what I'd like you to do. More features. And look, there's my email. How exciting. Why don't you try and send a snap to somebody else? So take a picture, and I'll do it again up here with Sean, if you don't want. I'm going to send some more pictures. Send a picture to somebody else. Try and write on it, change the time, all those sorts of things. Understand how to send a snap to somebody else, okay? I like it when people are talking and they're laughing. That means we're doing this right, okay? Okay. Now, and so Sean just replied to me. You think? Replay. Okay. Okay. What's that? Did you send one back to me? No, you didn't. Oh, she replayed it. Okay. So you get on, watch the picture, right? And then she replayed it. I got a notification that she replayed my picture. That means, so instead of it going away immediately, she went back. So she went back like this. And there's an option there to replay the picture. So you might not be able to see it, but only played it. She didn't see it again, even though it was a low picture. She did enough of how wonderful my picture was. So so it shows. So it's a really open connection here. Doing, okay. Okay. So why don't I do another picture? Okay. So I'm going to pick it up again, and we'll do the obligatory selfie with everybody else. Okay, and it's going to be a wonderful picture, but it's going to go hiding away on the internet very shortly. Okay, I'm going to have it stay on for 7 seconds. So what I did there is down in the bottom left, there's a little number here. I'm going to click on that, and it goes for 7 seconds. And this time I'm going to type something. See all these typing right in the middle? That's from Snapchat. So I clicked on the little T there, and I'm going to say something like, awesome selfie, okay? And then that goes in the middle, all right? You can drag it, you can move it up right there. That's probably the best place to put it, right over my face, okay? I can download the picture if I really want to save this as they download the picture, so, okay? So I save it, okay? And then I'm going to send it, and I can choose who I want to send it to. So my friend Leslie has been helping me out learn this. If he wants to see this, Sean wants to see this. I bet Snapchat really wants to see it, but we'll share it with them. And then we're going to talk about my okay? And then I send it. And now all these people have received it. Oh, just a minute. So now Sean and Eva have it. They haven't looked at it just now. Okay, good. So you're all playing with it, excellent job. So in just a minute, I'll come back to the other big piece that students like to use a lot, and that's called the My Story function. And then we'll take some questions, and then we'll be just about out of time, okay? Good? Did you screenshot it? Okay. Oh, busy people, look at that. Oh, and it's even got the nice one there in the corner, which you can't see very well. And then now it's gone, okay? Why don't we do an experiment? I'm going to send you one. I'm talking to Sean now just because we're going to try an experiment. Can you screenshot it? You did screenshot it. Okay. Well, I wonder where the notification went because I didn't see the notification. I didn't get the notification, but it's supposed to notify you. Okay, Eva looked at my picture again because she was so impressed. Thank you, Eva. I know, my photography skills are second. Okay. So since it's very important, okay? Okay. So, as I said, the way that students are using Snapchat the most is not for direct communications about life in general, about giving a snapshot in time of what they're doing. And a lot of them will use this feature called memories, or my story, I think. My stories or memories or something like that. So let me go into here. I have a friend, which you can't really read, but Leslie takes various pictures. Okay. So Leslie has one where I'll get rid of it. Okay. So Leslie put a picture that was not really intended for me, but was intended. Oh, there it is. There's the note. Okay. I'm sorry. So there's 3 icons here. Unfortunately, you cannot see. Oh, okay. You see that? See the top icon? Good morning. Say hi. The top icon, the middle icon. So Eva has watched has watched my thing again, so she's replayed it. Leslie has posted something. Okay, let's bring it back here. Come on. And then you'll see that there's an icon next to Sean. Let's see if it comes back here. That's under the icon, which Sean is at second grade was the one who had told us. I picked. Sean decided to keep it and really had to have it. Okay. It really was very good. That's what. Yeah. Good. Okay. So now let's do this again. I'm going to take another picture. Okay. We're gonna do another snap, but we're going to share it with a group of people. So a lot of what was one was everything. So I took a horrible picture. I won't write anything on it because I'll let you play with that. Up here on the top is this online store that you have either at, or there's a group. You have a group of friends. Students for interest in, but what they'll really do is that they will use this as a social way of connecting with their friends, and it's especially popular at international schools like ours because you can show the moments of your life all around the world. The students that we talk to most said the My Story piece was the part that they liked often because you get this type feature like Facebook where you're able to see what my friend is doing in Budapest, in South America, and in Houston, in down the road in my own class. It's all in one place, and people are saying, "This is what I'm doing." Moments that I'd like to share with you. But it's done within a group feature that this is your group. Oh, I got another. Oh yeah, oh, you can waste many of them with one. Okay. So that's how the students are using it most. And again, this is their group. So just because they have their group doesn't mean that if somebody else shares within their same group, to the group of people, okay, that they've chosen to share. The main feature is having this kind of wall function that goes on. The things that are posted to My Story, 4 hours. You can go back and see it again within 24 hours of being posted, whereas the snaps go away immediately. Okay? It's a little different. It's a little. At no point is Snapchat supposed to be an archive discussion or an archive set of so as you're doing this, join in with your students, maybe, or your kids, do individual, and then maybe if you really want to play with it, get on the My Story function, My Story. Okay, yeah, question. How do you create a group? Okay, let me see if I remember how to do that. Okay, so the question was, how do we create a group? And I'm probably going to fail at this quite a bit. Here, my friend, I actually created one myself. Does that do that? Okay, let's try that. So here, we'll take another picture. Oh, see, I've got a story. Oh, so there you go. Okay. So if you don't set up I think there's a way to set up My Story, but I'm not exactly sure how to do that. So we come to that. So okay. I'm not going to share it with My Story right now because nobody's very excited about that. Okay. 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 So yeah, so you can choose to add to My Story directly. Answer from anybody? might do it by username. They might not necessarily do it by email address. I'm not sure that email address is really something searchable. So when you get home, have them share with you, direct you, and then you can add them back. Might not be them. Yeah, might not be them. Mm-hmm. Right. Okay. So the question is, this is an important question. Do we give advice to students about using their real name? And you actually have two, you really have two questions here. And one of them is around the functionality of the people nearby me. Deal with the functionality question first, and then I'll answer the other one. Okay. So if you want to do add friends and you do this add nearby, it works if other people have also turned on that function. So just walking around, oh, I found you. You can't do that. You can't do. There has to. This is an active connection. So it only works. So like right now, all of you are on Snapchat, but they're not showing up for me because you're not. You don't have this feature open. So. Okay, sorry, the video is frozen. Can they? Okay, well, we're just about done. If you want to tell them that, sorry. Okay, well, we can see it here. All right, well, hopefully they can pick it up. I have suggestions for them. We do talk to them. And one of you, in fact, I think it's you, have your guess. Well, I'm going to just guess that Eva's birth year is in her username. So that's something that very much suggests that they don't have their name, but it's very hard for students to do that because those are very personalized things for them. So I do often put my name in, but just my first name. Other things. In fact, can you change your username? Not from my understanding. I think it's like you can play name, but you can't change your username. So your username is your registration name. Change. Any other questions? Yeah. Disconnect from Snapchat? Oh, okay. So if you go to this, so you get this page, click on the ghost to the top, there's a ghost up there. Okay, click on that. So she's asking, how do I get off of Snapchat, or how do I click on the little ghost? And then up here's a little gear in the top right-hand corner. Which is going to be over there. Okay. And then there's an ability down here to log out. On the other side, the one that looks like a gear. Yeah. Yeah, I know, it's mirrored. It's the wrong way. And then there's a log out down at the bottom. Okay. Here is view my story. You can choose. Here's your my story question somebody has. If you go to the camera and you click on the little ghost and you click on the gear. Now again, for you guys, it's on this side. Mirror on here. We never found out why it did that. Bottom, it allows you to choose story. So this is where you can create your custom group of friends. Okay, so you can choose your custom group of friends. If you don't do anything, if you do it, then all of your friends get it. And you have the option, anybody, I will do that one more time really slowly. So if you're back at the camera, click on the ghost and click on here again for you viewing at home. It's on the other side. Story. And we've got everyone, my friends, custom picture. So maybe you only want your kids to hear your story and you don't want to share with me. Although I really want to hear Eva's story. I bet it's going to be wonderful. We're going to see so many good pictures. It's going to be lovely. So if you leave it alone where it just says my friends, which is the middle choice there, every one of your contacts will get your My Story post. Just that you want. Go back and you choose My Story. Remember the ones that will stay on for 24 hours? They're kind of like your somebody wants to connect with me on LinkedIn. Hey, look, yet another social network to deal with. Custom will only get one group of people. My friends is everybody you're connected with. They'll get your story. I hear My Story, right? And there's really people that you really want to connect with and share with the most. Others that are just good to have as acquaintances or friends, but I'm not going to share everything with them. You know? Okay? Good? Yes. The age, if I remember right, it's 14. But very good. As with, so the question is, it's asking for a birth date. So is there an age requirement? I think it's 14. I could be wrong. It may be younger. But as with Facebook, you know, it's just their desire in terms of service. It's nothing legally binding. You could lie and get into Snapchat, and they do, which is really interesting. And I'm going to move on to we'll move on to the last set of resources that we have here. Okay. So, and I will email this out to everybody. I have a set of resources available to you. Interesting article at the bottom that says why we let our 6-year-old use Snapchat. Okay. And to me, that is a very provoking title, but it's a really interesting article. All about how to use Snapchat is a big help, but that one's a really interesting one about the interconnectivity of kids and why we chose to use it, and teaching lessons for young kids. I think 6 is too young, personally. I wouldn't let a 6-year-old be on there, but it is a very provocative read that is something that I would suggest you take a look at. With Snapchat, it's not just the add-ons. So there's a bunch of Snapchat apps that'll help you get onto Snapchat a little bit more and do more with Snapchat. And it's really interesting because Snapchat's been around for 3 or 4 years pretty heavily. But this year at, I think, CEM, at the Consumer Electronics Show, CES, they called Snapchat the app of the year because it's becoming so popular. A lot of companies that are posting on Facebook and Twitter are using Snapchat to get connected directly with people. Snapchat really is becoming very, very popular. And so if your students aren't using it now, there's a chance they're going to get on it relatively soon. So play with it, try it out, do a little bit more. No, kids. Okay, so there's a Snap Kids. So if the kid's under 13, it'll put them onto Snap Kids. Played with that. A lot of the students that we see are going to fake their age to get onto Snapchat. Pornography on Snapchat? No, you cannot. I won't even lie about that. And that is one of the big dangers with Snapchat that I think a lot of are most worried about, is that students will either be exposed to things or will share things that are. This is why it's most important for you to get involved, so that if they understand that you know how to use it and you have those discussions with assessing those things and will producing them themselves. They do, but things happen so fast. There are some very large number of employees, 1,000 worldwide. Not a ton of them that are working on content restrictions. There's a team that does it, but their main intention is to make sure that users get on the system and are exchanging information. And so unless something is really egregious, I mean, and you can probably guess what those things are, way that's not the business of interpreting it was bad this person did. So it's not really in their best interest to stop everything. And so it does become more user controlled to protect against those things. But that is one of the big complaints about it's not so fast that it makes it a lot easier to share inappropriate materials. Okay. Okay. Any other last questions? No? Well, thank you all for coming. If you think of other things, you can Snapchat at any time. 2 a.m. is the best time to talk to Sean, evidently, on Snapchat. 3 a.m. But anyway, thank you all very much. I hope this was helpful to everybody. And thank you, everybody online. I hope you enjoyed it. Please send me a note if you have any questions.